What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Astroneer. My name is Splattercat. Very happy to have you here today as we check out this giant spaceship wreck over here, which actually has blinking lights on it. It actually looks like it has some kind of either life support system or just some kind of indicator letting us know that it's still active by comparison to the other ships. We haven't seen anything that's had any kind of indicator, LEDs, or anything else on top of it over the course of our playthrough, and so I'm sort of interested to get elbow deep in this one and figure out what's going on with it. Along the way, I've been trying to clean up some of my... I think it may be the case. Oh, what is that? So we've got like some kind of vehicle module seat over here. We have a number of resources which have been buried around a central column, which is actually kind of cool. We got some copper and some lithium. I'm going to take the lithium with me for right now. The copper is useful, but we have so much copper that I'm not really concerned about utilizing it as a resource, and plus I can get so much of it so close to my base that it's not really that big of a deal. However, we do have a bunch of stuff laying around here. We got an unknown research object, which we can take back with us, which I think would be a pretty good call. I've been trying to clean up my lines around the way, so I do think that the tethers are what's responsible for a lot of the frame lag that you get in this game, and it's because I've laid down so many tethers. I think the game has to draw those light sources even when they're maybe off screen or something like that, and so I've been trying to do in between episodes. I spent about 20 minutes just cleaning up all of my random tethers that are all over the place. So we may not have access to the same locations that we used to be able to go to, but for now, what I'm going to try and do is only run like a single tether line at a time until we know better. And so I'm going to take this research object back to town. I think that it'll give us a little bit more information. I am interested in whatever that seat is, though. And so what I may try to do is I may try to hoof them both back in my free time here. I'm not really sure how to structure this. I'm not really good at this whole, like, hey, let's cut out Dead Space YouTuber type thing. I don't know. I don't know what's engaging and what's not. I always figure I just show up, turn on the game, and then we'll talk for a little while about real life and the stuff that's happening. And hopefully that works out great for all of us. But let's take this back. We'll get some research done, and I think it's going to be pretty swell. All right? Cool. I'm going to research this very quickly, and I'm probably going to kill off a number of these lines that run out to just like random locations that don't accomplish anything. We'll research that, and I'll start stacking tethers back inside my backpack while we wait, because I think that's actually where our base lags more than anything else. Just there's too many light sources, maybe. We have the habitat, which has been researched. Very, very excited about that. I don't know how that's going to play out entirely, but it seems sort of interesting to me. Let me clean up some of these tethers, because I have tethers running all over the place that don't actually necessarily accomplish anything. It's also the sun coming up in the mornings is also quite the graphical display, and while it's somewhat thrilling to look at, it does leave us in a weird situation with regards to our frame rate as well. I know I've been picking on that a little bit, but I think it is going to bother some other people. I don't think it's like a huge deal, but I think it is going to... So what are these connected to right here? I'm having trouble like verifying these are still connected to something. They're still supplying me with oxygen right now, and I'm not entirely sure why. That's fine. I love free oxygen. Free stuff in general. That's like the entire Pinky and the Brain. There's an entire subplot in Pinky and the Brain about how everybody loves free t-shirts. And so Pinky and the Brain, they put a bunch of free t-shirts on the moon so that everybody goes to the moon, and then they can conquer Earth while everybody's out and away and, like, not available. Funny stuff. I miss Pinky and the Brain. Although Animaniacs in general was one of those shows that did a really, really great job at being entertaining to both, like, kids and adults. And those are the best sorts of things. Like, I like the things that are actually, they're self-aware enough to understand that I love how the reflection comes off of those. Absolutely adore how the reflection comes off of our solar panels. That's really, really cool stuff. Other people might not like little things like that, but for me, as a person that plays a lot of video games, I always tell people that it's about the little details. It's the small, careful considerations that a developer gives to their game that really helps solidify it as like a quality product. And little things like the reflections off the back of your character while you run around, the way that his helmet reflects light, for example. Like if you go right there, how his helmet reflects the landscape and things that are like in front of him, kind of. It's cool. It's actually, does it? Or does it show the same thing? No, it reflects whatever's in front of him. That's pretty cool. I've seen some games that do like a really, really convincing job of taking like helmets and stuff like that and making it such that you think that it's actively reflecting, but there's actually kind of like a permanent texture on the helmet, and then it does like a minor bit of reflection. Not a lot, because you can't reflect too much, because then you never get any real work done if you're spending all your time in kind of like passive reflection. However, I'm that kind of person too. I get lost in my own head all the time. Can't do that. Can't do that. That's the reason why I had so much trouble in school, is because like I'd be like, this is boring, therefore I am shutting down. And I'm just going to get lost in a fantasy world in my head. Goodbye. And then I just vanish into the ether of my own brain. Vanishing into the ether of my own brain. I'm also going to get rid of this beacon over here. I don't know why I dropped a beacon on this side. I did all kinds of strange things when I first started that I don't think were necessarily super pragmatic. I'm going to carry that with me though. Ugh. Seeing as there's no power to our printer right now, and I'm kind of curious what it actually does, I think I'm going to juice it up real fast. I think I'm going to... Let's take some of these extra little electrical things over here. And if that doesn't work, what I'll do is instead I'll build little wind generators or something on it. And we'll see if that works, but... For right now, let's feed that in. So that fills up, and out of the printer... Oh, we can make like real shit out of this. So we can make a wind turbine. That's going to cost us aluminum. We can make lithium batteries. It looks like it might just be like a better version of... Oh, we can make another habitat too. So we can place that wherever we want to put it, so that if we run out of connection points or if it becomes too chaotic. So that's a 1-seat. We actually found a free one of those. Cool. And then we've also got a storage platform. I wonder if that connects to one of the smaller pieces, or like how that works. I'm curious about this. Let's make some storage space, because I do think I could do with some better storage. We've got some compound over here, though whether or not it will be enough, we'll have to find out on the fly. For some reason, all interesting information is written on flies. That's where that comes from back in the ancient days, like the Egyptian days. They were actually so sophisticated in their writing techniques that they could write on the back of a fly. True story. 100% true. I would never lie to you like that. I would never lie to you like that. I'm not that guy. Go ahead, look it up. Wikipedia that shit. Check it out. I'm sure your teachers will corroborate it. Why? Because I'm just a nice guy like that. I like to give you a lot of extra time to work with. If there's more compound around here, I would like to have more compound. So let's go find some compound. Yeah, it looks like there's compound right here. It's a fairly common resource, so I don't see any reason. Oh my god. This pile of compound over here. Yeah. Perfect. Excellent. Yup, couldn't be happier. Give me more, more, more. Oh, I'm pumping it out everywhere. Never mind, we over-compounded. We compounded the issue far too frequently. I'm also going to take these tethers back with me while we get up out of here, because, as I said, in order to preserve my frame rate, it seems like it's necessary to maybe have less tethers. Or at least it's something that I'm trying out, because it seems to have helped. But the buildings seem to draw a reasonable amount of your performance as well. Come on. All the way back to base. And frankly, it's easy enough to drop tethers anyways while you're running out to other locations. I see no reason why I should, worry about conserving this stuff anyways. So on this side, we need a compound for a lot of this. I'm going to click that and click that. We wanted to do the storage medium, and that sounds great. So I'll probably actually make 2 of those. Because I wanted to see how it attaches. So do I just place it somewhere? Is that pretty much all that there is to it? I assume that it is. So since I've got like a centralized platform over here, maybe get it slightly straightened out and then just put it right there. And then, can I attach things to it now? Oh, I can. Looky there. Okay. Let me collect all my random resources and bullshit that are laying around, because I think we can do better here. And I've got extra compound. Was there anything else that took compound in here that we hadn't crafted yet? There was the new hab, and there was the 1-seater, and there was solar panels. Let's do the solar panels, because the solar panels, I don't want to be constantly drawing upon a need for... Unfortunately, I have to have like a self-embedded power system in all of this, and I would rather not have it be that way. And I don't actually know if that works effectively. I've got the solar panel. Do I have to connect this somehow, I wonder? Or does it go onto like one of these? Ah, it goes onto one of these guys right here. Okay. Let's put a solar panel right there, and if I activate it, do I need to activate it, or does it do its own thing? Looks like it does its own thing. Yeah, I'm going to accept that maybe we should probably kick this back out to here and give ourselves a little bit more of a chance. Throw the resin on there. We'll keep this all evened out as much as possible. That'll be a new location for us to build things and stuff. Give me some of my resources over here that I dumped on the ground because I didn't have time to deal with them a few minutes ago. We're actually coming around pretty well. I'm glad with the way this playthrough is forming out. I was a little bit worried that it was going to be like Space Engineers or like Factorio or whatever. Oh, it's two-sided too. Well, that's nice. How pragmatic. Alright, so we've got copper. That leaves us with a little bit of compound right there. I'm actually going to use this as an opportunity to go out and farm resources. In all fairness, let me get some compound right there. Some of the more common stuff that I'm going to need in order to finish my jobs. I know that I stuck a whole bunch of stuff to like random locations too. So we've got this little doodad right here. I think this is a personal Windvane. In all honesty, I don't think this is a Windvane that's actually supposed to be deployed on top of anything like that. Because it's still got... Oh, no. It's actually functioning now. It doesn't have the little red thing above it. Well, it does. I don't know. If the red thing indicates... Gotta wait for the sun to come up before I'd be able to know. Luckily, it is on the rise. Let's go grab some more goodies. There's compound over there, but there was compound and resin on this side, which is what I'm much more interested in. Pull out my gun real fast, and it looks like I was pulling out resin over here. We're going to be going through base expansion in this episode. I want to build a whole bunch of the new stuff and make sure that we've got the opportunity, should we desire it, to just have things running in every direction. So resin, yes please. Looks fantastic. Although we are going to need more compound too, so something else to maybe consider. There we go. So we've got 4 more resins that we're going to be able to huck back to town with us. Huck back to town anyways. As the sun comes up, we should start to see our energy levels go up. And I also wanted to check and see if the Windvane was working. And then alternatively, I wanted to check and see if the solar panel was working. Because if I can just put a solar panel, like in each quadrant, that powers all this stuff, I would very much prefer that. Now, I'm not privy to the way that the movement of power works in-game just yet. There we go. So yeah, that is drawing electricity right there. It doesn't look like it reaches over to this side though. So what I would say is that I'll use some resin to put a platform right there. We'll extend this out. Yep. Just keep it moving. I'm going to put another one right there. And we're not going to stop just yet. I'd actually like to extend this out quite a bit further. So there we go. We got fun stuff going on. I don't know why it digs into the ground like that. I'd very much prefer that it stay flat. But it's a minor pet peeve. It's not really that big of a deal. If I extend this out this direction, that's going to be most of my resin gone, but that's okay. So much resin and compound over here. Like, it's so tempting just to be all over this. Oh, and there's a bunch of it laying around right there, too. Well, hell yeah, compound. I'll take you along for this journey. Don't you want to be my friend, compound? There we go. I'll throw you in there, and let's get some more compound. Resin's looking pretty nice right now, and I don't think we're going to need a ton more of it, especially since I'm trying to limit my tether use. Am I full up? No, there's just an extra one laying down here. But that's resin, and I don't want that. Oh, we're at 50% oxygen right now. This could be an issue. Well then, back to base we go, as quickly as possible. Cross our little land bridge, don't fall, otherwise we will die. Not necessarily from the impact or from gravity, although gravity is a bitch. As somebody that used to do a lot of aggressive skating and whatnot, it's actually pretty decent at it. I considered it like I was pretty decent at skateboarding. I don't like to toot my own horn a whole lot, because that to me is the zone. Oh, that Windvane's working now. It's working. So maybe it does function. Interesting. What if I put the Windvane right there? Will it still function? It will. I wonder how the game calculates wind direction then. I mean, you can look at the particulate matter and you can tell that it's flowing like right to left or whatever else. But does that transfer electricity over to this guy? Or like, how is that going to work for me long term? I didn't get as much compound as I wanted, so that's a little bit of a bummer. We'll have to work around that. It's also not refueling this thing like I wanted it to. That's cool. I can make this function. It's all good. I don't want to stack a generator on it or anything. That seems like kind of a misallocation, but if I get some more aluminum, I think that would be good too. Although maybe the generator can act as a transfer for the electricity. I hadn't thought about it that way. Power cells. I wonder what power cells does for us. Yeah, let's try. I see no issue in checking out a new technology that we have. And then we'll also try out... We've got a generator right there, so I'll throw that in. But we're going to try the power cells first to see what they do before we fiddle with anything else. Another beacon right there. Yeah, give me another set of power cells. Cool. Alright, so we've got the power cells all taken care of. What happens when I slap a power cell on here? Maybe it allows a generator to overcharge slightly. Does it look like they're rejuvenating? It's still down to 5. I would assume that if power is being transferred, there's a yellow line on the side that would be doing its thing. Take this. Put it right there. And give it a few minutes and see what happens. If nothing else, I'm going to strongly consider throwing another solar panel in. On one side, I used up all my compound. I'm such a nubbin like that. But I think there's one right here. Yeah, buddy. Got another compound. There we go. Produce me another one of those so that these are at least refilled every time I come back due to the solar power. And if we're really, really lucky, what'll happen here is I take that, I attach that right there. Power cells have already been slightly drained, but that's okay. That's okay. Solar panel will more than likely function in the morning. This poor bastard over here, just drop him right there, and hopefully he'll function. The wind has died down, so that might also be why it wasn't working. There's not a whole lot of wind gusting about right now. I've got a little bit of electricity left, which I actually don't really care about all that much. Seems to be a little bit less useful than like other things that I could keep around. I may actually get rid of the battery too. The battery is nice and all. And let's say for a moment that I put the solar panel right there. And instead, I take the Windvane for me. With the possibility that maybe I'll be able to generate, if I can turn that turbine a little bit, maybe I'll make a little bit of energy all by my lonesome while I'm running around doing my job and, you know, clocking my game and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to throw the power on the ground because it's taking up space. But that frees up another backpack slot for us so that I don't have to worry so much about making all these, like, random run trips out here. So anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to farm out a little bit of compound. I'm going to farm out a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We'll come back, and we'll see what we can accomplish here without titanium. I may also run back the chair seat from over there so that I don't have to build one. But at this point, what I'd like to do is I'd like to make everything sustainable as far as our energy solutions go. Alright, I will see you all in the next episode of Astroneer. I hope you've liked it so far. It's a really, really fun little game. I can't wait to see like what happens to it in the future because they've done a great job with it so far, and this is just like the preliminary alpha of the game. It's not even like a real release feature as of right now. Like, it's clear to me that the developers want to do a lot more with the game because even with as many features as it has right now, they're describing it as a pre-alpha. which means that, yeah, there's probably going to be a lot more fun stuff in this game before our time is up. So I think I've run out over here. Hydrazine sitting on this side. Yeah. I will see you all later. Thanks for stopping on in, everybody. It's been a lot of fun so far. We'll have more Astroneer for you tomorrow, where I think I may try to get the vehicle bay all up and running. All right, bye.